Hi, good morning. Or good day. So just a really quick one here. Um, just some thoughts I'm having this morning. Um, and actually, I kind of thought of some steps. It's kind of interesting that I did. Um, I don't actually feel like I have a lot of misunderstandings or miscommunications, and thanks for the quick like there. But we all do have them. We all do have them. We're not going to be understood all the time. You know, even in good connections. Um, so just at the bottom, at the corner here, I say, and who do we got watching? Where are you watching from? I'm gonna make sure that the chat is on properly. Oh, the viewer left. I know who I hope it might be, but anybody who gives a like is uh, is cool. Hey, welcome back. It was nothing personal. And that's the thing. That's another thing. I think sometimes we as people take things too personally. I do it too, though. That's the thing. I mean, it's a protective mechanism, you could say. It's sometimes acting out of habit, and that might just be in a general sense, and it kind of, you know, filters into different areas. And like I say, this is primarily chapstick. This is chapstick, yeah. This is primarily um, just an in general topic. Now, our dog was being kind of noisy. It's raining outside, and I don't know, maybe he heard something outside, but he settled down, and I haven't had to give him anything to occupy himself with. So, um, I think in connections and stuff, patience is important. Um, and um, um, so in no particular order, some important steps to take, aside from ones I may have already said, although this is only 2 minutes in, is to stay calm, to look past your own perspectives or habits. It's not that they aren't important, and it's not entirely that they aren't worth saying, but um, realize when your reactions may be coming out of where your reactions are really coming from, and um, if you can adjust them. Are they coming from? And I mean, I'm again really, this can be totally seen in a general sense as well. Um, are they coming from a particular um, aspect of your personality, like such, that is actually not connected to, um, what you're currently, you know, a particular circumstance that you're facing. Um, and then, which is, I will possibly just keep this short. I have another meeting later today. I'm not too sure how in depth it's going to be, and the other one is kind of is communication, but like in person may end up being later this week. I don't mind that, even if the one today is not a full hour. You know, I don't mind kind of spreading them. It reminds me of a video I just came across here on YouTube, but music. Uh, Anywho, yeah, and just to communicate till one, you feel better, and two, the other person feels better too. Whether that means that you have come to an understanding and you have kind of gotten past any kind of uncertain feelings or reactions or uh, based on something that was said to you. Communicate and communicate, I want to say your feelings because they're important, they matter. At the same time, again, and all we can do is our best, right? At the same time, certain feelings may be, I guess you could say, misplaced, or I don't want to say wrong, but I do want to say, or I would say that maybe they are inaccurate to the situation. Um, so communicate. You know, and like I say, you'll know when you're at an understanding. Um, it's possible too that when a connection is newer, and even if there are reasons why you feel like it's unfolding pretty quickly and naturally and comfortably and what was it naturally? And um, you know if you can get a good sense, um, it can still happen, and perhaps it happens more. So you know um, and this isn't about it. It is and it isn't about a specific circumstance. Kind of a couple recent ones, but like I say, I don't find that I have that happen very often. Um, I am largely homebody, and I do and don't have a lot of connections, but no, I mean, throughout my life and recent and not recently, it doesn't happen often. I think that I'm pretty well spoken. I'm pretty well understood, thankfully. Um, but yeah, like I say, if you're able to do it, like if you have the time to do it, to no matter how in depth, or how sometimes they're back to back misunderstandings, whatever it is. Sorry, just a moment. Where did I put that? Yeah, just a moment. Um, if you're able to, I feel like I have to sneeze. If you're able to uh, give the time to do it, do it. You know, if it's a connection that you want or you think you might want, do it, because the more time that goes by, the more confusion. This actually didn't actually get that. It's only been on the fridge for about an hour. The more confusion, the more chance possibility of feelings festering, and and sometimes going where they don't need to. Um, and if I didn't say it yet, and I think this is obvious too, I think another one would be, um, well, in looking past your own perspectives, again, not that they don't matter, but sorry, my eyes are kind of buggy. It's still pretty early, and it's very kind of cloudy and like not like dark clouds, but just just yeah. Anywho, to remember that, and here's the thing: you can think that you're you know being understanding and respecting somebody in that, and you probably are. You might be, but still, you know, things can be misunderstood. Maybe a little less so in person or out loud, but then a tone can come into it, and maybe again might not really be necessary. But yes, if you know, um, some people will say it happens in written communication more though. But I don't know if I should share a specific example. All I'll say is sometimes people feel like they need to kind of stand up for themselves, and maybe sometimes they do, or they need to kind of speak their truth because they feel like it's not being misunderstood. And maybe sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. sometimes um, they think that they're being told. They think they're hearing or being told one thing, or maybe in often in the majority of examples, they think that they're reading one thing, and maybe they are. I don't want people to feel like this is something that they need to always kind of be watching. Like, I mean, I think it can sometimes go into a point of being a little bit, again, not to judge people's feelings, but any of us can sometimes be a little bit overly critical or paranoid. And I think one other thing I'll add, whether you know a person well or not, think of what initially drew you to liking and being comfortable with each other. Think about what you do like about the person. And I think, realizing that that's that's who they are. I mean, that how do I say it? Realizing that is, you know, likely accurate, likely still there. Um, and you know, so in other words, if you know someone or feel that someone is a kind person, um, and you feel like they're saying something unkind, again, it may not be. Also, we all are human, so and we all have different sensitivities. So just remember that, and again, with kindness and the respect and empathy, and working towards understanding each other. We all do it, but like I say, you know, hopefully, let me know how these tips work for you, if you choose to try them, because yeah, I think we're all worth it, and we're worth it to each other too, um, and yeah, for whatever different reasons, personal or just things that we've observed in life, sometimes we react in such a way where we think that somebody is being like uh, other people that we've heard about or known or met in a circumstances. And again, although they may be, they may not be. Um, everybody is an individual, even within different kind of cliques or groups, and nobody's people can be very similar, but nobody's completely alike. Um, it's good to learn and grow, and you know and be ourselves, and you know always learning what that means. We all go through it, but some of us maybe feel quite discomfort when doing so, and kind of try to avoid it. And again, that's just in a general sense. I mean, I could say I'm that way in some ways. Can't think of any in particular at the moment, but again, and yeah, I kind of like number androids. Maybe I didn't need to, but yeah, it's realize that we can always be wrong, uh, sometimes, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, and that it does not necessarily lead to um, um, things falling apart. So don't give up on each other or yourself. That was being a bit noisy, but don't give up. You know, find ways to make it work. I would say because we all need each other in this life. It can be hard. We all need each other. Um, whether we realize it sometimes or not, there's some people there. Whether it's for good conversation and laughs or support. And so let's be good people, be there for each other. And, you know, again, you know, we can feel that we are kind, understanding people. And just because, you may go through something with somebody where there is a misunderstanding or feelings may feel hurt or whatever, does not mean that one or either of you is not a kind and understanding person. Um, but anyway, it's early. I'm tired. I'm feeling slow this morning, and I'd just be repeating myself probably. Again, that's not always bad. Sometimes things need to be, said again to be understood or whatever, and that. But I don't feel like I need to. So yeah. I think I've already said the things pretty well. I might try and do some music later today. I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure what else will be on my mind later either, but we will all find out when we find out, or followers of the channel and that, and myself, we'll know when we know. Hopefully, we'll have happy things to talk about and to sing. And so, take care until then. I hope everybody has a great day.